Hey everybody, welcome to Season 3 of Song Revolution. Get ready to ramp up your songwriting. Hey guys, welcome to Season 3 of Song Revolution. This is a podcast brought to you by Nashville Christian songwriters and a great bunch of people behind the scenes who are dedicating their lives to help you fulfill your highest calling to communicate the passionate love of Jesus that I know you feel in your heart. You want to get your songs out to the world through your music. And you can check out all the fine resources we offer at NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com. And you can even sign up for our handy dandy mailing list to receive some great updates and information to encourage and support you in your songwriting and artist journey. And speaking of someone who is on her own unique journey to communicate the gospel, I'm here in the NCS studios with none other than the inimitable Leanna Crawford, an incredible young artist on Provident music. And she's got a new record out called Still Waters that was inspired by Great Aunt Maureen, out now wherever you stream your music. And although Leanna is married to NBA pro player Cody Zeller, Leanna is so much more than Mrs. Cody Zeller. She's making her own mark in Christian music. She's opened for some of the top names, people like 10th Avenue North, Michael W. Smith, Matthew West, a few unknowns, Jeremy Camp, Matt Maher, Plum, where's Plum been? I love her, and Jordan Felice. She's partnering with Charity Water to help supply fresh drinking water to millions of thirsty people in over 29 countries, and she feels especially called to minister to young women out of her own life, her testimony, and her relationship with Christ. Leanna, how the heck are you?
I'm so good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, so good to have you. I think I said Leanne in that intro. I didn't mean to. Do you get called Leanne?
All the time.
Well, we're going to correct that right now.
That's just one of my childhood traumas is getting called Leanne. I'm just kidding.
I got called stupid. I don't know.
Oh,
no, I don't know. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm fine. I respond to anything. Okay. So Leanne is fine. But
no, we're going to keep it Leanna.
Okay, cool.
That'll be consistent with your branding on your record.
That's probably good. Branding, marketing. We got to keep that.
All right. So first question, what does it feel like to be you today?
Oh, wow. I love that question. It feels good. I'm very thankful. I feel like it took me a little while to get used to this is all the things, but I moved to Nashville 6 years ago. It took me a while to get used to summertime here, and I'm not really used to the humidity still.
From the Northwest.
So and we have
different out there.
It's rainy, but our summers are perfection, and
really?
The humidity here is it kills me, and I'm such a baby about it. And so fall I feel like is happening, and I love that. I'm just a happy girl. I did a workout this morning, so I'm proud of myself. I don't do that every day, but I was it's a good day. It's a good day.
Awesome.
I'm happy to be here. Beautiful. So this is awesome.
We're glad you are. So, I'm stuck a little bit on the non-humidity thing you said about the Northwest. It rains like crazy out there. Just get some boots, some galoshes. So the humidity's kind of different here in Nashville?
No, it's so humid. It's not. I think we occasionally have a humid day in Washington, but it's not really a thing.
Isn't that interesting?
It's so bizarre. And I didn't have enough. It gets most of the summertime in Washington is 70s, 80s, but it's cool at night. So when I first moved here, I was I don't have hardly any summer clothes. I need some shorts and I need some tank tops because I don't have anything to wear outside. It's so hot. But I love it here. I do. I love it here.
It's been a stupid summer too. It's been
so hot.
We went from sort of spring into we're in hell. It's I don't know what, right? It was just terrible. It's been terrible.
We're just knocking on the doorstep. It's been so hot.
And now I think we're going right into this fall thing, and I like fall okay, but
you're not a fall gal.
I don't like to be cold. I'm old now, and when you get old, you lose all of your resistance to cold. That's why Florida is flooded with old people. And I don't know that they like it down there, but the government, they hate old people. I think. They've got a program for getting rid of them, I think. But you get cold,
that's terrible,
and so it's we have the temperature wars in our house with the thermostat. But,
yeah.
So you did a workout this morning. What's a workout like for a contemporary Christian music artist like you.
Oh, wow. It changes a lot. This morning it was Cycle, which is my probably least favorite just because it's so hard. The instructor's so good, but she is like, she does the whole thing with
like
us.
a class.
Yeah,
where
no, it's
you're
like
with
a
other
class.
People, yeah.
Like she's amazing. So I'm like pushing it. And this morning I was like, I am dead. I'm like, I've taken a few weeks off. So I was like, I got to get back to it. But sometimes I'll do like a little yoga. I love like hot yoga. I just love like, just getting a good sweat on.
But have you done goat yoga yet?
Okay, I did do that. It's
No.
been years. There's a spot in Nashville. There's
Yep.
probably multiple spots. We went years ago with our friends, and we just like had a blast.
But did it pee on you?
Yeah, it did. It was disgusting. Yeah.
That's like nasty.
Yeah. No one was really doing yoga. Like we were just taking pictures of the goats. So I was like, we did all this. Like there's still an instructor, but like no one really cared. There were a few people that were like really into it, and I was like, I'm literally here to take pictures of the goats. That was my
Well, there are
that was
other
the whole
places where you don't have to let them pee on you to like go get a picture.
point. That's true.
You know,
I could just
go to a petting zoo for crying out loud.
I could
But to
just
let
do
it
that.
climb up on you and urinate, that just seems nasty.
It wasn't
so.
on me. It was like on the mat. So I think it was
Okay,
okay.
okay,
It was
all right,
okay.
we can
It
do
did.
that.
Yeah. They were cute though.
Well, all right. So I know we're going to get into your music here in just a few minutes because God knows we got to get off of
Yeah.
goat urine here at this point. But
Dead.
But I mean, it's like that's
Yeah.
reality.
I think that's an
we
important
do
conversation
some
to
crazy
have.
things. So my next question was going to be, what's the one question that interviewers don't ask you that you wish they would ask? And I may have just asked it. I don't know.
What my workout routine is? My favorite workout? My question. I wish, I could, like I was a horse scout all growing up. So I'm like
Right.
that's what I
So
that's what I did.
the kind of the organic nature of,
Yeah.
because horses do big things.
They, as in, yeah.
It's not a trickle when they go, and it's like, right?
This is true.
I mean, it's
this is true. I will say this is like, my best, some of my best therapy sessions were in high school, middle school, cleaning out the horse stalls, cleaning out horse.
mucking the stall,
mucking the
right?
stalls. That's literally, but I would just like, listen to some music. I was like, that's good therapy.
Yeah.
Some hard work. You don't really have to think while you're doing it. It's just easy. But that
Yeah.
was my job all growing up.
So I happen to know a story about you, and I don't know who else
Oh.
was with you, jumping on the rhino on the farm
Yeah.
and nearly wrecking, and you made up a song. I know,
Yes.
I know.
How do you
I do
know
my
this
homework.
story?
I do my homework, girl.
goodness.
I'm gonna know
How do
this
you?
stuff.
Wow, that's like, whoa. How do
I
you know that?
I could almost sing your song for you. It's like, I don't know.
Did you call my sister?
I did not.
Did you
I
call
didn't-
my
this
sister?
is-
Who
no,
knows
this?
this?
This is public knowledge, So I
Did
did my
I-
homework, right?
Wow.
I want to know. I want to know my guests when
yeah.
you walk in. So
That's incredible. Do
Yeah.
you want to know the song? Do you want to
yeah.
know? Oh,
Well, tell the story because you
Yeah.
did grow up on a horse farm. You'd
Yeah.
muck out the stalls.
Yeah.
And a rhino is like an ATV, right?
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
go around the farm.
It was supposed to be like our work vehicle, and it had like a little bed in the back, so we would like feed the horses. At one point, we had like 20 horses on our farm, so and my sister and we were in charge of it. So we had to feed all the horses and take care of them. But you take the rhino out instead of a wheelbarrow most of the time, and you can throw the hay from the rhino. Very easy.
Yeah.
So most of the time, the rhino was a work vehicle, but it was also
Sounds like a lot of fun.
it was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun. And we were pretty safe, but like we were young. Like I think when we first got it, I was like 9 years old. So I was like really little.
That's a dangerous
Yeah, it's
time of life
dangerous.
to have
yeah.
a rhino.
So I think when this happened, though, I was 11, but we were coming down this hill, and there's a long driveway. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but I'm pretty sure we did not see a vehicle coming down the driveway. And thankfully,
So reckless driving,
it was-
negligence on your part.
yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, they were on the driveway. Like they probably had the right of way, and thankfully we did not die. It was very close.
Thank
we
God.
were good, but I'm pretty sure it was just my sister and I, and then one of our good friends. It was just the three of us, and I was driving. Yeah, which is
And a spontaneous song erupted
We
because
all-
you veered off And thank God you didn't turn over and like get crushed.
Yeah, we
but-
did not die. That was good. But we did start, I don't know, I think I just started singing it. And then all three of us, we joined in, you know, we called ourselves like the Three Amigos. So we were the Three Musketeers. We were always together. But it was like, it was a head-on collision made by one dumb decision. And thankfully, like, we survived.
Yeah.
But that, I think, were the only two lines.
Did you just like repeat it?
The whole
and
time.
Just kind of,
yeah. That was literally it.
Get a dance routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, but I think we were so happy and probably in shock. I don't know if my mom was driving the other, like if she was the one going down the road. I don't think it was her because she would not have been happy. But yeah, I love that you know that story.
Oh,
that is like, that is deep. That's like little, like, that's awesome.
Come on. Yeah, I know a lot more, but I don't know if we'll have time. We'll do that in the second podcast when you come back. What would it feel like to have 52 weeks of access to the right people in Nashville? People who've been making music for decades. People who can answer every question that you have about what pro-level music making is all about. Well, you can get that and more by joining NCS Community. Our community is a group of worldwide dedicated Christian songwriters who want what you want, to glorify God with your gifts and to get your music out there. I hope that you'll consider joining NCS Community today. So, as an artist, you know, I mean, you're really coming into your own with the new album, Still Waters, and you, like we mentioned in the intro, you're touring a lot, opening and working with a lot of big names. But you know, what people don't understand sometimes when they go to concerts and they see their favorite artist is that artist has sung that song not only a billion times, writing it, perfecting it, recording it, and everything that goes into that. But then touring, you sing these songs over and over and over, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of have a two-part question. Number one is, how do you keep it fresh, right? When you've sung these songs, you know, how can you not?
Yeah.
You know, a beautiful story behind that. Still Waters, Simple, which is my favorite. I love that.
Thank
so
you.
the first part of the question is, how do you keep it fresh? Second part is, what was your worst out-of-body experience when you were standing up there singing and you suddenly realized you were like not even on the stage, right?
The first part of that, someone told me when I first started touring, but it was like a good reminder of that, like, we're going to all these cities and you don't even remember where you were yesterday.
You wake up and
But for everyone in the audience, that's like they've been looking forward to. It's like one night, and so everyone that's there, they're experiencing one night of the show, and so just that mindset. So like that's good. I really try to like look out in the audience and make eye contact, not in like a creepy way, but I like try to like not in a weird, but I try to smile and like
hey, blue eyes.
Yeah, like hey, and then I'm usually like, and I think that like helps me to remember the words because I'm not thinking about the words. I know the words, and if I'm like thinking too much, then I like will just mess up. But if I can think, and then I'm kind of also like not always doing this. I'm not like, you know, the most spiritual person ever, but I try to like pray for them as I'm singing. And so like sometimes my hope is every time my prayer is like, God, like show me someone I need to encourage by like a smile or like someone I need to sing to. And I'm not like staring at someone the whole time. But
they're like,
yeah, they're like, excuse me, please. And sometimes people like just like look away because they don't know what to do. And I make
it's too intimate. It's
they're
too
like, okay,
intimate,
please no. Especially because there's a couple love songs I've written, and I'm like looking at all these people, and I'm singing about Cody. But that, you know, but then you know, it's just a precious moment that I'm having. But anyways, try to do that, and then I also think back to like when. I don't know, when like I wrote the song, when we wrote it, there's like a lot of things. And then depending on the song, I feel like I can kind of, if I'm not like overthinking, I feel like that's what people don't always realize is like when we're, you know, up there singing, there's like a million things going through like my head. Okay, what did I just say? Was that really stupid? What I just said, did that make sense? What am I going to say after this? And, but like trying to really stay in the moment. I don't nail it every time, but that's like something that I feel like helps me if I can just like focus out, like outwardly. Yeah. How can I like encourage someone?
That's so good.
Which helps me a lot.
Yeah.
That helps me a lot.
I was a worship leader in local churches and traveled all over for about 35 years. I've been building our company for the last 10, so not as much. But I remember a few specific times where, like when you're driving in your car and you get somewhere and you think, oh my God, I don't even know how I got here because, I've just blanked out and I hope I stopped at all the stop signs.
Yeah.
I've had a few experiences where I'm in the middle of a song and I'm like, did we do a second verse? Did we?
Yeah.
I mean, and if it weren't for the confidence monitor, I probably wouldn't even know. So what's the worst, I call it an out-of-body OBE. What's the worst OBE you've ever had with being on stage? And how did you recover?
Oh, well, I feel like it happens all the time because, and we have like the tracks too, which helps. So like we do have a guide and most of the time it's like, okay, verse 2, which helps me because I'm like,
they're speaking in your in-ear, so like verse 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, so my MD, he makes them all and sometimes he makes them in Spanish. So... And he's not, but like,
Dos versos.
No, literally. So like the first time we go through them, I'm like, oh my word. But it's kind of funny too. I feel like that, I don't know. I feel like that happens to me all the time, especially it just like does. But the tracks do help. And then, I don't know. I did just have like a total like train wreck this last weekend, which is not what you asked, but that one was bad. And I had the most, just like could not remember how to play my song. And it's a song that I've had out for years. It's a song called Mean Girls. And it's like a very intimate song. Yeah. And I haven't like played it every show, but I know how to play it. I know like back of my hand. And I went up to start playing it and I was like, and usually my fingers could not remember for the life of me. Thank goodness there were all these like sweet little girls in the audience like singing the chorus.
Yeah,
but I messed up so bad that it was not like, and it was so terrible. And they were so gracious and so sweet. But my sweet sister, Lindsay, she's my tour manager and she's out with me all the time and she plays with us, but she steps off stage for that moment. When we came off stage, she was laughing so hard. She's very encouraging, but she's also very honest. And she was like, that was hilarious. Anyway, so that just happened and I still don't know how I feel about that.
It's hilarious.
But you know what? I was like, it just, I'm sure Carrie Underwood's done that or two, maybe. I don't know. But I was like, it was so bad. And thankfully they're so gracious. But that was kind of out of body. I wish I could be out of my body at that experience.
And
I was like,
come back.
Yeah, I was like this. I wish I could leave right now. But I still had one more song. I was like, oh dear.
Have you ever made up a verse, like totally forgotten a verse and just made something up?
Yeah. I definitely have, especially for like the newer ones. If we're playing like a new one out, not that everybody has every word in my song memorized, but I will do that. And then I'll just kind of like, we just make up some words and keep going.
Has your musical director ever like said something really stupid in your ear, like to crack you up?
There was one he does. He does, and he like that for sure. There was a festival we were playing this summer. It wasn't him, but we had a I had the sound guy in my ears from the festival, and he was saying we needed to get off the stage, but we had an extra minutes, but he didn't know that. So he was like, you need to get off the stage. And I was like, I'm pretty sure we have another 10 minutes. And so I just kept going, but it was this whole conversation back and forth, and it was so bad. And I just kind of kept going. I was like, we're going to finish. I was like, I'm going to play How Can You Not? And then we'll leave.
But I think that's a bit of a tradition and character trait for you. Don't I remember that in your first like radio contest that you won and they wanted you off the stage and you're like, heck no, I got one more song.
Did you call my mother? Like, who did you talk to? This is wow.
Oh, don't be creeped out.
No, I'm not.
This is all.
I'm blown away.
No, this is all interview stuff you've done, and
I've
I
said
just
that.
go watch interviews,
Oh, my
just so that
word.
I can like be ready.
This is amazing. You've really done your research.
I have.
I
have, Debbie. I really have. I love your work, Debbie.
Thank you. Yes, this did happen. My first my first show, actually international tour, because we played in BC, British
That's
Columbia.
right.
So
Canada.
yeah, very exciting.
Right over the line.
Right over the border. My first, international tour. I haven't been back since, but anyways, yes, won the radio contest, and it was like so sweet because my church, like my parents still go to the same church we've been to like over 35 years, and so like my like little community just rallied around and like made it, voted. So I won this radio contest, and the prize was to go open for Jars of Clay over the border.
So good, those guys.
And, yeah, Abbotsford, BC, and we just popped over the border and sang. And like they did their, I didn't actually meet Jars of Clay that day, but we heard them, and they were doing.
Of course you didn't.
Well, but now I know, because I'm like, now you go to a festival, like you just don't meet, like you just don't see everybody. So I didn't meet them, but they were doing their sound check. Anyways, we finally had all my youth group friends. They were in my band, and they told us we had like 20 minutes. And I don't know if I was over or not, but the sound guy, the stage monitor guy, he was like, "Hey, you need to get off the stage." And in the microphone, I didn't mean to, but I said, "No, we have one more song." and I just played on through, and I was like, and now thinking back, I'm like, okay, it was a little aggressive.
That's
it was
a sassy
aggressive
attitude for a beginning artist.
Very sassy.
I mean, you were just large and in charge.
I don't know who I thought I was.
I know.
I was like, no, this is my moment.
Kind of feel sorry for your A&R guys at Provident. It's like, don't mess with her.
Don't mess
with her. She will not tolerate that. So what, your folks have been at the same church, your family, for 35 years. Yeah. What kind of church, what tradition, kind of what's the base of your spirituality? There's so much, right? I mean, tens of thousands of streams of Christianity. So which one are you?
We were non-denominational.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are not committing. We love Jesus, and that's all we're going to say.
That's all we're going to say. No, it's a Village Missions church.
Okay.
So, and I guess I didn't really know anything about Village Missions. They're like small churches kind of in rural communities all over. And so our church was a bigger Village Missions church, in that it was a small church. I thought it was a big church. Growing up, I didn't know anything different. But loved it. We just still meet in like a gym of, basketball. I mean, it's a church, but like it's multi-purpose. Very sweet contemporary worship services. That's where I first started leading worship and learned. But it's a very sweet community. It's definitely no one really raises their hands, very, it's very, very laid back. Everybody loves the Lord. A lot of prayer warriors. They just maybe not as expressive. And I'm a very expressive person. And so but I didn't necessarily, especially when I'm talking my hands so much, but I love to move around and raise my hands, especially when I worship. And when I went to school, I went to a little Christian college up in the Northwest, and it was an Assemblies of God church.
Ooh.
I mean, school, which is a night, a totally
you got
different.
Set free. Yeah. You got the Holy Ghost.
So I was everybody's up there worshiping and, moving and dancing. And I was this is so cool. And I loved it. And so I just learned a ton from, going to school and leading worship in that space. And just that's kind of how I feel my, original leading worship really was
so
through a lot more expressive, which I love. And I still love my, home church back home. And it's the sweetest. But I'm just a little bit more expressive. There are people that raise their hands for sure. Just, not that that's means you love Jesus more or less. No. I just can't help myself. I just can't help myself usually. Yeah.
I think we're all raising our hands in our hearts.
Yeah.
It's inside.
Yeah, inside.
Right, in the privacy of our own heart. Yeah.
My youth pastor said, he was the reason I don't raise my hands is because I'm worried my 5-year-old son is going to be Dad, what are you doing? Really loud during service. I guess that's fair. It's just, that's how chill everybody was. Yeah. But I love the pic. Someone said, it may have been at my church growing up. I don't remember who said this, but it was like when you raise your hands, you're just kind of surrendering. It's a surrender, right? Yeah. You can't, because it's a helpless position. You're raising your hands. You're not, no more defenses. And so I just always love that picture.
So what keeps you grounded when you get the crazies?
I'm always crazy, so I don't know. My family for sure. Always pointing me back to Jesus. My parents are incredible and have always just been super encouraging. But 6 years ago when I moved here, I moved with my little sister, and we are like inseparable, 16 months apart, always best friends. And she's like just she's seen me at my absolute worst. And on better days too. I have good days too, but like and just been such a huge like rock for me. And I'm so, so grateful. Now my husband, he keeps me grounded. I feel like I'm very thankful. I feel like there's just a lot of relationships, that I'm very grateful for. But that's for sure. I love to journal. That's like if I don't like journal, for a while, if I don't like process that way, you can kind of tell because I start acting a little insane. So that's like one way too. That's my prayer and journal. I'm like, Lord, help me. Let me journal everything. And if I don't do that, you can kind of tell.
What's a typical journal entry for you?
It's usually like an update. It's usually just a page. It's pretty short, but it's like an update of like maybe what we've been doing, like what I've been doing. And then it usually ends with like a prayer. And it's not very clean or pretty, and I have terrible handwriting, which I did all handwriting for this project. It's all like all the still water stuff on my website. Everything's handwritten, and it takes me so long because I want it to.
You did that. It looks great.
It's all, thank you. It's like, it's my handwriting, but it's a lot slower. Like it's a little more thoughtful, because my journal entries, sometimes I read them and I'm like, what did I even say? But usually it's kind of like update on life, what I'm doing, and then a little prayer.
Well, I love the record. Still Waters is so awesome, just as a whole record. It hangs together so well, and I just love so much of it. For heaven's sake, Still Waters, of course, inspired by great Aunt Maureen.
Yeah.
I Know a Place, How Can You Not, inspired by your firefly experience with your dad here in Nashville. He'd never seen fireflies, and to see a field of fireflies, I want to see that. We need to figure out where that is and go see that.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Beautiful. Other beautiful songs, Make It Through, Honest, Before I Knew Jesus, Way to the World. Just all really, really awesome songs. But I have to tell you, I'm pretty smitten with Simple. That one just is the one I go back to time and again on this record. And I want to read some of the lyric and then ask you just a couple of questions about it. I think you're going to play it for us today, right?
I think so. Yay. I hope so. I hope so.
We'll give you more than one take. So
that'd be good.
It's all right. So, but I love this song because, your songs, they're a lot of the big anthemic themes of our faith, the existence of God and how can you not, and that experience. And you guys can go listen to some other interviews and get some of these backstories that I've learned to try to surprise my guest a little bit with my breadth of knowledge here. But I love Simple because it feels like it's a more vulnerable kind of moment than the others. And they're all great. I mean, awesome. And you had some amazing co-writers, the production, your voice. It's just all outstanding. You're the total package.
Thank you.
The video of you tap dancing was a little awkward, but everything else, you need to work on that just a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so this is a little bit of the lyric of Simple. Take a breath. The camera's off. You don't have to hide the fact we're all messed up. I know you think one more bad move and God will finally wash his hands of you. Ooh, 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 hold on. That couldn't be more wrong. There's no such thing as too far gone with God. Nothing you can do to earn your spot. Nowhere you can go where he is not. I know it all sounds unbelievable, but believe me, it's that simple. And I love that. I love the second verse too. I don't usually like to put the devil in my songs, but this one works for me. The devil lies and twists the truth. He's working hard to make you think it's all on you. Okay, dang, I just love that. So you play the part till you're exhausted, and when you fall, he's there to tell you that you've lost. Okay, I don't know. That's like goosebump city for me. So my question here, a couple of things. I mean, it feels like your generation more than mine, there is an emerging awareness. Maybe you've just grown up in it more than we did and an openness to discussing mental health issues. Because there's like the spiritual side. Yeah, there's spiritual warfare and the enemy attacks us, but there's also, in that first verse, just even saying that phrase, you don't have to hide the fact that we're all messed up. That's very hard for my generation, to admit. It was like you didn't go to a therapist. You were like, you are messed up if you literally messed up if you went to a psychiatrist or psychologist. And there's been a proliferation of knowledge about all this. But for you as a Christian artist to maybe straddle the spiritual side with the purely psychological side, I think very brave. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
But would you say that this song is about a friend? Or is there any autobiographical material here? And what's your take on why you did this song?
Yeah.
It's so stunning to me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think it's funny because I like it. It really is, like, I feel all of those things and have felt all of those things. I think it's definitely autobiographical. I think in the room when we were writing it, it was a very special, like it felt very special. And
you wrote it with Jason Hauser and
Clint Lagerberg.
Yeah.
And it was my first time writing with Clint. I had written a couple times with Jason, and Jason introduced us, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to write with my buddy Clint, who's mostly done like country music." And so we got in the room, and just like it was, and both of them are brilliant and such great songwriters. And both of them are very like, just, it was kind of my first time experiencing it. It felt very, it was just like, it felt very spiritual. And and that's like, I think hard too, because especially doing Christian music, I would want it to always feel like that. And there have been moments, but I think that it was just like beautiful, and it felt kind of holy in the room. And I was like, it like brought me to tears, which I think that's so special whenever that happens. But as we were, writing the song and talking about, that is the gospel, but that's like a huge part of my story. And I've felt all of those things, and I feel all, it's not just I've felt that at one time. It's like those are things that I've felt, and I've felt like, especially verse 2, I think really hits for me a lot. Like that one, devil lies and twists the truth. He's working hard to make you think it's all on you. And I think that is what he wants to tell us. He wants to tell us over and over again that, hey, like, you messed up, it's all on you. And that's like so opposite. Like couldn't be more opposite of the gospel. And so, yeah, I would definitely say it's autobiographical. In part, and even maybe in all of it. But I kind of think maybe even at the time I didn't realize that it was.
Yeah. It's very powerful and just really meaningful, to not only to me, but probably everybody that ever hears it, because it is the devil's job to lie to us. But I think our own minds lie to us, and we get so in the weeds of our own dysfunctions and the stories we tell ourselves that are useless and have no reality when you are trying to live your life in the truth of the Bible and of Christ, His presence in our lives. So I'm excited for you to sing it for us today, Leanna. This has been delightful. And I just want to encourage everyone that's watching the podcast to go stream Living Waters by Leanna Crawford on Provident Music, and to just enjoy the ministry that God is pouring through this young lady's life, and to get real, get real with your stuff, get real with where you are psychologically and spiritually, and let those things, come together to make life as abundant and beautiful as God means for it to be. Leanna, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Can't wait to have you back.
Thank you.
And I wanted to say one more thing. If you want to know the Great Aunt Maureen story, if you want to know the Dad and the Firefly story, if you want to know the wedding song story for Cody, and if you want to know more about Cody, I didn't want to bring Cody into the interview today. We'll have him in another day. Just some other day. But anyway, you guys go check it out, and thanks for watching the Song Revolution. Now the song. Simple.
Thank you.
Take a breath, the camera's off.
have to hide the fact we're all messed up. I know you think one more bad move and God will finally wash his hands of you. Ooh, hold on. That couldn't be more wrong. There's no such thing as too far gone with God. Nothing you can do to earn your spot. Nowhere you can go where he is not. No, it all sounds unbelievable, but believe me, it's that simple. The devil lies and twists the truth. He's working hard to make you think it's all on you. So you play the part till you're exhausted. And when you fall, he's there to tell you that you lost it. Ooh, hold on. That couldn't be more wrong. There's no such thing as too far gone with God. Nothing you can do to earn your spot. Nowhere you can go where he is not. No, it all sounds unbelievable, but believe me, it's that simple. So take a breath. The camera's off. You don't have to hide the fact we're all messed up.
Thanks for joining us on today's show. If you got some value, please help us share the love. Leave a like and a share and a good review. Be sure to check out everything that we have to offer you at NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com. We'll see you next time.